white numerals, white trim, will attack right to left. Bears are a younger bunch than Dartmouth, and it'll be interesting to see how Brown responds with this young lineup to the energy of an Ivy League game. Gurgic pushed back. Ruffino trying to get up high. Out it comes behind Carcio, and here come the big green right to left. Expect a lot of energy in the early goings, certainly as both teams will apparently be shot out of a cannon to get the those legs out and out from underneath them. As playing back to the ball comes Ruffino. You can hear a lot of energy down on the pitch already. We're just underway for all of us here on ESPN. My name's Mike Rubin. Thanks for making us a part of this beautiful Saturday night. Sarah Bermudez back in the lineup as well. She'd missed a couple of games earlier on. Ball played out toward midfield. Bukak looking to turn to the right side. And here comes Glennon on the flank. Pushes it ahead. It's turned away by Cameron Brown, able to get a touch off Bukak, the senior from Alexandria, Virginia, graduate of T.C. Williams High School, made famous in Remember the Titans. The throw-in for Star White. White herself, Virginian. She's out of Norfolk, also up on Northern Virginia. Out ahead, and that is a foul behind the play. Coach Kia McNeil not too happy. Referee Adam Kilpatrick will give an obligatory stern talking to. Looks like that's to Allie Winstanley. White is up. There's definitely some collision on that far side. For the Bears, it would appear that it's Seelenfreund, White, Carcio, and Ruffino up top. Maxwell as well in that midfield mix. As this will be Sydney Cummings with the long ball. Lofts it up, was looking for Carcio. Flips it through. White, Ruffino. Header to the left side. Trying to come on was Seelenfreund. Here comes Hinton stepping up. She gets ahead to it. It'll be turned down by Gurgic. Near side, here comes Seelenfreund to the right side corner. Keeps it alive. No, she does not. Took one too many steps there, did the first year, and it'll be a Dartmouth throw. Big throw coming out of that near side corner. Bermudez works through, gets a touch, has some space ahead for Ruffino. Ruffino, middle of the field, lost the handle. And Glennon coming back to the ball. Turns left, has Kawakami running with her. Bermudez gets back to the ball. The pass a little hot. Hinton knocks it down. Bermudez touches off Hinton, I think was trying to set for Cameron Brown. And it'll be a Dartmouth throw. A lot of energy out there early, as you might expect for a league match. Ball thrown in. Turned by Bukak. Plays for Soriano and all the way back for Molly Magoris. She turns right side, Enright, and pushed ahead. White working against Enright and beyond the reach of Winstanley for another Brown throw. Again, the Big Green, 10 wins last year, 5-1-1 in the league. Found themselves at the end of the year atop the league table with the Penn Quakers. And the ball turned back for Grace Rourke. Rourke, the 5'10 sophomore from Philadelphia, misses Kawakami. It might have been, they're going to call that a Dartmouth throw. They say Ruffino maybe getting a touch on it. Quick throw in. Hinton stepped up, and that's out of bounds off of Glennon. Dartmouth 10-5-2 last year. I'm sorry, 4-2-1 in the league. I had them confused. And that's coming a real rebound year in 2017. Just 1-6 in the league, and that was the last time the Bears came away with a win. That was a 1-0 victory here. Game-winning goal in overtime from Star White. Up goes Carcio, and she'll get called for the foul as she came over the back of Molly Magorisk. Here comes the restart. That's a good ball into the area. Kawakami was found on this near side, turns her shot wide. Good target there, and coming from Rourke. A goal kick here with 5 minutes gone in the first half. And sent away by Thompson. First ball, one in the air. Second ball, Bermudez. Working through comes Ruffino. And lost the handle. It's out to midfield. Bermudez, Maxwell. And now through center comes Magorisk. Touchdown by Maxwell. Shakes the challenge. Bermudez. And now they'll get the foul, as there really was no advantage. Bermudez will put it down. Bears were without Bermudez for a couple of games. She didn't play in the Fairfield victory or the loss to Villanova. Might have missed the Providence game as well. There's the restart. That's on a line. Glanced off, an arm, and the shot is blocked as Seelenfreud tried the side volley. Header is up. Carcio the drive, and the score! Goodbye, Dartmouth shutout streak as the Bears get a 1-0 lead on a brilliant left-footed strike by Abby Carcio. The Big Green had gone more than 475 minutes since allowing their last goal. It is just the third goal the Big Green have scored, and it should be Carcio, perhaps a helper to Seelenfreund on the header, and it's 1-0 Brown. Carcio, welcome back to the lineup for Carcio, who missed some time. Here comes Ruffino, turns it across, and it'll be wide. Ball still alive. Seelenfreund can't track it down. It will be a goal kick. Dartmouth came in along with Brown, two of the top defenses in the country, having allowed just 2 goals in 8 games, same as the Bears. The Bears losing 1-0 to Villanova and taking a 2-1 win over Hofstra. For the Big Green, they last gave up that goal against Florida Atlantic on September 6th. They were also scored on by Pitt, that being a 2-1 victory in their season opener over the Panthers, who are out of the ACC. Seelenfreund back for Hinton. Out ahead for Maxwell. Maxwell will take to the right side and is slowed up out of bounds by Haley Soriano. It's only the second time this season Dartmouth has trailed. Seelenfreund trying to switch for White. Here comes Francisco. Stepping back comes Winstanley. Nice stick there by Francisco. In the Dartmouth 2-1 win over Pitt, the Big Green took a 1-0 lead at the 39th minute. In the second minute of the second half, they gave up the equalizer, got the eventual game winner in the 61st minute. In the midfield, the turn. Nice ball out to the flank. Seelenfreund from Bermudez out to the right side, and too much. And Seelenfreund knew it as soon as she touched that she'd led Hinton by too much. Ball up the near side. Kawakami met by Hinton. Here's Seelenfreund, turns, met on the double by Gurgic, puts it up the right side. Nobody making that run, however, and Rourke will track back. Rourke will play toward center for Bonnie Shea, the other center back, and now locked in by a couple of Bears. That one stuck by Seelenfreund. It'll be a Dartmouth throw. Bears lead 1-0. They got a goal from Abby Carcio in the 5th minute. Back for Cameron Brown. She quickly just outlets, headed down. Ruffino trying to get underneath it. Little help from Rourke. Seelenfreund through Rourke, as the Bears have really had the advantage in terms of speed and space in the early goings. Near side, Seelenfreund will let it run. It'll be a Brown throw. A lot of energy on the pitch for this one, though. You can really kind of cut the energy with a knife. It's so thick. As it's turned for Maxwell. Great touch. Puts it across, looking for White. Headed down by Carcio and knocked away. Can Francisco get there? She cannot. Winstanley has it knocked away. Cameron Brown stepping up and collided with Bukak. She's able to get the ball ahead to Izzy Glennon. Glennon met by Cummings in toward Kayla Thompson, who will let it play. Great counterattack there by the Big Green as the initial volley from Maxwell missed Star White on that far side. It was initially touched, I want to say, by Enright to Win Stanley. And here comes the punt, well out across midfield. Second ball is up, Bermudez with a head. It comes to Kawakami. She looks to settle with Hinton on her back. Turns back towards center. Here comes Ruffino. Good challenge. Ruffino met a nice slide there by Carcio. Ball away. Here's Francisco stepping up. Turns right side, McGorisk out ahead and knocked away by Francisco. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up this energy for another 70, 80 minutes. I'm trying to, feed off of what's on the field, but I'm grateful that my playing days are over. Everybody's going to take a good long nap if this pace keeps up, that's for sure. It's going to be a restart for the Big Green. About 11 minutes gone here, first half. There's the strike. Thompson holding her line, headed by Francisco. Seelenfreund trying to get there. Kawakami does her a favor. I think if Kawakami lets that go, it's probably a corner kick. And that's where I think, you look at some of the opportunities that the Big Green are going to have on restarts. The Bears' defense usually plays pretty solid in the back. They're going to have to play pretty mistake-free and try and catch the Bears, maybe in one of those errors of coverage. As Hinton goes up, first ball, second ball down. Gergic out of bounds over Seelenfreund. It'll be a Brown throw. Hinton. Tough touch for Seelenfreund. Liking the leadership out of some of these younger Bears, though. We were wondering what we would see as, we've been here all season with the Brown women. Some of these younger Bears, players like Ruffino and Seelenfreund, a couple of first years in the lineup along with Francisco. Love the talk that we're seeing. Really great communication. Both teams, really. Hinton. Bermudez will go all the way back. Leads it for Cummings, who sends that one up to us. I was waiting for the thud. It didn't make it. Throw in for the Big Green. Gergic to take it. The Ontario native. A touch. Ruffino has some space. Ruffino with some room, has Rourke beaten, cuts back, turns to center, takes a shot, in front, is fouled, and it's knocked away. Heady play there by Mariel Gordon, who came out of her box, came charging out, and made life difficult with a couple of defenders on Brittany Ruffino. That's a great break for the Bears. Ruffino, I think, got caught perhaps wondering when to take that shot, and Rourke she had beat. It was a good recovery by Bonnie Shea and, of course, by Gordon as Zoe Maxwell gets called for a foul. The Bears fans, the Bears bench, the Bears players, that's a trifecta of Bears, folks. They don't like it. Be a restart for the Big Green as the Ruffino breakaway just narrowly missed making this a two-goal game. And credit Mariel Gordon, the junior from Dallas, Texas. Both of our goaltenders here tonight from the Lone Star State. Austin's Kayla Thompson, the ball set back and driven up and over the top. The Bears running around a bit. And with the return of Bermudez to the lineup for Brown, that means reigning Ivy League Rookie of the Year, Rebecca Rosen, started the year on the shelf. She will be in a reserve role. Bears have also had players like KK Hogg and Mason Bai available to them off the bench. We've also seen Cheyenne Allen give some big minutes, and everybody saw that foul, including our referee, and Abby Carcio gets a talking to from the official who says, yep, I saw it. Be a restart for the Bears, who have a whole host of them warming up to perhaps be options for Kia McNeil, but for now, here's the restart. Carcio, that's a range. Didn't get much on the shot and sends it wide. It was picked up by Gordon. Bears had gone more than 600 minutes without giving up a goal before the Villanova Wildcats struck early in the first half last week. For Dartmouth, you'd have to go back about 3.5 weeks. Just the second goal allowed, one in their first game, one in their third, as they have been steamrolling opponents, defensively especially. White on the left flank. Tough touch is knocked away, well played and anticipated by Enright on that right side. Players to watch attacking-wise for Dartmouth. Glennon with 5 goals. Winstanley, 4 goals, 3 assists. For Carcio, that was her second goal of the season, but she has played now in just 3 games. Played in the opener against Hofstra, the game winner, and played last week against Villanova in a reserve role. White shoved, wanted the call, it didn't come, and it'll be another Brown throw. Carcio hot-footing over, says, I'm going to take this throw. Winds up, has the long throw, tosses it in for Ruffino. Ruffino working back, finds Carcio, trying to set herself, middle of the pitch, drops back. Bermudez has Seelenfreund, but Seelenfreund is cutting back to the ball, kind of skipped wide of her. The good ball movement, good decision-making there by the Bears to try and reverse the point of attack, but pass a little off. That one's knocked off and out of bounds, off the foot of Bukak. They turn it right to Carcio. She'll play Bermudez. Bermudez will settle back for Cameron Brown. 16.5 minutes in. 1-0 Bears on the Carcio goal. Francisco keeps her feet moving on that left flank. Turns back under duress. Winstanley there. And we'll go all the way back to the middle for Sydney Cummings. Smart play to reset things for Brown. Cummings working left to right. Calls out for Ruffino. Catches her in transition. It's knocked down. Rourke the touch. Maxwell cutting through. Looks back to her left. Has a stick. Star White, top of the box. Cuts back to her left. Gets a step. In front. A save by Gordon. And knocked away for a corner kick. White was trying to get a good cross off. They had both Ruffino and Maxwell charging to center. And it was a great dive by Mariel Gordon, the goaltender, able to get a paw on that loose ball. And the Bears are going to bring up Cummings for the first corner kick of the day. So Sydney will head to that far corner, at least the far corner for us. Watched by a couple of big green defenders. They have Maxwell as a short option. White down by Gordon. Ruffino, Seelenfreund, Francisco, and Carcio all moving in the box. It's a low corner, knocked down, struck twice, and it'll be another corner kick, as that's why you hold the post. Tried to maybe sneak one in there around Shea on that post. I checked that. It might have been Rourke on that near post. And another corner for Cummings. I've seen the Bears try the line drive corner too often. Here's the drive. That one out near the penalty stripe. Up goes Ruffino. White in and saved by Gordon, who was in the right position. Love the footwork there of Mariel Gordon. She got herself out square to the shot, then retreated back, had her eyes on the ball the whole way. Was going to take a good shot to get through her based on her positioning. Second ball, middle of the field for Maxwell. Cuts back, bumped by Kawakami. Touchback all the way Carcio for Cummings, and the Bears will reset. Out to center, Bermudez looks to turn back. Has Seelenfreund as a runner. Works one-on-one, cuts it back to center, and Ruffino couldn't get there. Good charge there by Seelenfreund to make something out of nothing. And really has seemed like the field has been tipped left to right here for most of this first half. 20 minutes in. Ball played to center and just misses Carcio. The pass was behind White. Carcio back to White. Looks to dance through in the middle of the field. Out to her left side. The reset from Carcio taken away and slowed up on the counter by, I want to say that was Winstanley. And now Enright. Here's Winstanley right side. working up against Carcio, goes up and over the top. Francisco will go all the way back to Thompson. Head up from Cummings, sends it upfield. Making the run back on the ball is Rourke, and that's not going to make it for a goal kick. She's going to have to go back in front, tough pass to handle, and now back out to Gurgic on the near side. Out ahead, Kawakami, met by Hinton, plays it out across midfield. Right there is Francisco, turns it ahead. Carcio, Maxwell, turns back Bermudez. Bermudez back to Maxwell. She'll take her space, ahead for Ruffino. Ruffino turns right, gets it to Seal in front. Great ball movement by the Bears. Turns, crosses, out in front, and Gordon makes the stop before Zoe Maxwell could cause more damage. "21st minute of the match, 1-0 Bears. Big punt from Gordon, as the Big Green have really not been able to put the ball on the feet of really their attackers. We haven't seen Glennon really too involved. A ball they're trying to get out to the flank to Winstanley and such, but the Bears have done a good job of really almost seeming like they have two white jerseys for every green ball played. Bermudez turns that one out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in taken by Enright, the senior from Hillsborough, California. Tosses it in. There's Glennon checking back to the ball. Enright looking to the flank. Winstanley marked by a couple of Bears who take it away. Carcio met well by Enright as they were trying to get through her. Lost her footing. No call from the official, as it was certainly incidental. That one played off of Maxwell. Kept it alive, did Star White. And it'll be a Dartmouth throw after a fairly helter-skelter sequence. Enright out ahead. Touchdown there by the Bears back line as Cummings for Francisco, sending Ruffino up the left side. No option there. Headed away by the Big Green. Francisco chops it down. Turn back, Carcio will go all the way back once again to Cameron Brown. She'll turn to Thompson, keep her up and about. And Cameron Brown will take her space. Out ahead, Carcio looking to turn. Met well there by McGorisk for Winstanley. The 1-2 for Glennon. Winstanley off the flank. Cameron Brown slides over, nice stick. Glennon, top corner of the box. Drives one towards center. Cummings knocks it away. Has support from Francisco. Little toe poke. And Carcio chopped down by McGorisk. She's a little slow getting up. Carcio's up. So we pass the midpoint of half number one. Bears with a 1-0 lead on the Dartmouth Big Green. Dartmouth all time with a 1-win advantage on Brown. 21 wins, 20 losses for Dartmouth. A couple of draws in there. For a while, it was really all Dartmouth. Between 1995 and 2007, 13 wins in a row for Dartmouth. The last few years have been a little more even. Middle of the field. McGorisk went down. Kawakami switches fields, goes back across for Winstanley. Star White takes it away and slows up the counters. The last couple of minutes, Dartmouth started to get their legs under them a little bit. That one was actually well played by White. She was able to deflect it off of Enright for a Brown throw. The Bears are going to wait for Francisco to come up to take it. Over the head of Ruffino. Dartmouth's going to have to hustle to keep that one in. And a nice stick by Ruffino, and that's going to be a goal kick as, again, Bonnie Shea, the junior from Atlanta, really had to hot foot back. For the Big Green, Road Warriors right now in the midst of a streak that sees them, a stretch that sees them play 5 of 6 away from Hanover. They beat Sacred Heart on the road last Friday. Oh, I'm sorry, last Sunday. And that was a 4-0 win. They head to Merrimack on Merrimack, Yale, and Penn after hosting Princeton next weekend. Francisco out ahead. Ruffino had that breakaway stymied. Good ball ahead for Maxwell. Maxwell in a sea of green, able to get it over to Seelenfreund. Finds Hinton the hard way. Hinton will go back to Bermudez. Bermudez looking to switch fields. Gets it on 1-2. What a play to Ricarcio. Back out to Maxwell. Maxwell back out right side. That's Seelenfreund. Has some room. Takes the end line. Curls it across. Gordon the punch. Ball up. Maxwell trying to get a touch to it. It finds Hinton. Hinton for Bermudez was trying to pull the trigger and couldn't. Carcio recovering, and back it'll come out. Izzy Glennon looking to counter. Glennon hot footing after it. Chased by Carcio, met by Cameron Brown. Out to the flank, Winstanley. In front, and a nice stick by Francisco will yield the first corner of the day for the Big Green, who look like they will be sending senior Haley Soriano to take this corner. They'll bring up a couple of their taller bodies. Rourke at 5'10", certainly the tallest Big Green player on the pitch. She'll head upfield for this corner. So too will Shea, who's listed at 5'7". Corner from the far side. Bears have everybody back. Here's the corner. It's into the mixer and over the top. Maybe a heavy strike, and that's out of bounds. Unable to track it down was Rourke, the AR right here in front of us. All over it.
Entering the lineup to number 8, Cheyenne Allen.
And Cheyenne Allen will check on. Star White will head to the bench. Some good minutes for White in the first 6 minutes of the half. So that'll push Cheyenne Allen back into the match. Allen, the hero of the Bears' 1-0 victory over Hartford, with her first goal of the season. Allen, Hogg, Story, and Melina Yago all single goal scorers for the Bears. Carcio getting her second to join the multi-goal club, along with White, Claire Myers, Brittany Ruffino, and Ava Seelenfreund. Ruffino and Seelenfreund each with 3. And speaking of Ruffino, she's on that ball, out of bounds. Another throw coming for the Big Green. For our entire outstanding ESPN team, my name's Mike Rubin. Thanks for making us a part of your Saturday. Kind of an odd throw sequence there as the green must have gone in and out. Abby Carcio will head off, so too will Brittany Ruffino. Here comes Rebecca Rosen and Claire Myers for the Bears.
And number 5, Abby Carcio.
Carcio, who had the goal, again trying to manage her minutes as she's appearing in just her 3rd game of the year. Came off the bench against Villanova, and a throw coming for Dartmouth. And the Big Green, 10 victories a year ago, 4-2-1 in the conference. Francisco, good recovery, and it's the smart play, just touches it out of bounds. Big Green have had a better run of things since maybe the first, maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes than the first 20. Right side, the turn, Bermudez, the take, cuts back, looks up. Myers was running away from her. And now Francisco out to Rosen. The touch for Cheyenne Allen. Tried to move it ahead to Myers. And Shea will go all the way back for Rourke. As Gurgic to her left, the goaltender behind her. Myers trying to force Rourke into a mistake. You can hear the Brown bench saying, go hard. I think they want to pressure these backs. Allen, nice touch. Stepping back into her was Winstanley. Got the ball off to Francisco, and the touch. Rosen trying to get back on the double, plays it again for San Francisco. She touches, and that's Maxwell, middle of the field. Maxwell continues to carry, left side Allen, turns back Rosen, under duress, it'll roll all the way to Sydney Cummings. Cummings looking to switch fields now, picks her head up, surveys the scene, doesn't have a lot of options with everybody for Dartmouth behind the ball. Plays it for Maxwell. Maxwell gets a touch, has a player left, and just couldn't pull the pass off. It's awayed by the Big Green, and Bermudez will reset for Cameron Brown. And Cameron Brown will decide to go all the way back to Thompson, keep her involved. She'll play for Cummings. Seelenfreund and Myers both minding the line as Dartmouth trying to maybe pull up a little bit. Maxwell, middle of the field. Good job by the Big Green to lock in and eventually force that turnover. Soriano, Kawakami, marked by Hinton, cuts across the field. The touch comes to Megorisk. And on the right side, Winstanley stopped again, this time by Francisco. Ticking down to the final third of half number 1. Out it comes to Claire Myers, who has fresh legs. Turned it over, Megorisk, and now Francisco. Tough bounce at the end. Maxwell, middle of the field, shoulder to shoulder with Soriano. Kawakami has Hinton there. Plays back to center. Megorisk, right to left. Out ahead, back to the ball comes Glennon. Looking to pull back on Bermudez. Works back through, stuck in the middle. Down went, I want to say, Rosen, a little slow getting up. Now here's Megorisk, and Cameron Brown says, get rid of it. Big Green doing a good job of putting pressure on, but have yet to generate a shot on goal. Nice step there by Cummings, and again, Brown out. Myers squares it off. Seelenfreund lets it turn her outside, cuts back, and Kawakami fouled her. Seelenfreund needed to make a quicker decision there. I don't think she was aware of how quickly Kawakami was coming. Maxwell was calling for it as well. And the Bears will take the restart in front of us here. As the clock winds down to about 13:40 left here in the first half. Cummings puts that one toward goal, and that one's headed backwards. We'll see if that's going to make it out of bounds. Good shield there by Maxwell. It eventually hit her, however. She has to keep it alive, and does. Turns it back to the left. Gurgic with a touch. Soriano. Here comes Hinton. Nice touch coming through by Dartmouth's Bukak. And Kawakami will come away with the ball. Plays to center for Bondi Shea. Shea out to the right. That's Enright. A little 1-2 in the midfield. Cheyenne Allen comes away with it. Allen playing for Myers, who's overlapped now with Seelenfreund. Myers, left to right, drops it back to the flank for Allen. Bears continue to take their space. Allen drives one towards center, knocked down. Here comes Bermudez on the touch. Swings it out to the right side for Myers. Myers has Hinton as a rear side support. Works back Myers, working against Gurgic. Tries to take it to the end line. Tries to get a step, keeps it alive. It'll be a goal kick. Well played by Gurgic in the end, as Myers did seem to get a step. And some wholesale changes coming for the Big Green. Mason By will check on for the Bears for Ava Seelenfreund. For Dartmouth, Charlotte Esty will check on. So will Alyssa Newberger. And Isabella Villaflor will check on as well. So interesting that the Big Green have made a change on their defensive line as Rosen works on the right side. Drops it upfield for Allen, and Allen couldn't handle the pass. It's out of bounds, and a goal kick. That puts By on the flank, Myers on the flank near side, Allen up top. For Dartmouth, they've left Glennon in, moved Kawakami to the interior of the midfield with now Villaflor. The outside flank back is Newberger, and they have Esty up top where Kawakami once was playing. Winstanley, right to left, another nice stick by Francisco. And another touch out of bounds. Bears have By in the game, which means the Green are going to have to respect the throw. I don't know if they need to respect it that much. They're giving her a good 30-yard. Well, I guess they do have to respect it that much. That was a 40-yard throw. That shows you what I know. I mean, I've seen her throw at 40 yards. I guess I wasn't really expecting that on a kind of pedestrian throw-in on the far sideline. And now the Bears will be able to set this up almost like a set piece. Now she's winding up to take a big throw. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3, and in. Makes it into the box. Rose it in the air. It looked like a handball. It might have been a bare handball, but definitely looked like it hit a hand. Francisco tracking all the way across the field now. Bears got to be careful about shape. Francisco's going to track Glennon all the way back across. Kawakami has some room. Cameron Brown stepping up. That shot and scored! The Big Green with the equalizer in transition. And we have got ourselves a game. A floater from Aaron Kawakami ties the game at 1. What a goal. And it really resulted, you know, the Bears lost their shape in the midfield. And it started when Francisco came tracking all the way over to this near side. Once the Big Green got to that ball, I was watching by on the far side. They gave Kawakami a lot of room. She took a shot from range. Not a lot that the Bear goaltender, Kayla Thompson, could do about it. And for Kawakami, Aaron Kawakami, the junior from Palos Verdes Estates, California, she has her second goal of the season. And it was a dandy.
Dartmouth goal, the second of the season, stroke number 5, Aaron Kawakami.
Could sense this one started to change perhaps around the 24, 25 minute mark when really Dartmouth started to have a little bit more pep in their step. And now the Bears find themselves in a 1-1 game. 9.5 minutes left. Big throw there again out of bye. Middle of the field, here's Myers. Myers tries to split a couple of defenders, and Rourke sends it away. And now the Bears must do something. Actually, both teams. To win this one, they're going to have to do something the other has not, and that is score 2 in a game this season against, again, very stout defenses. Bears have now given up just 3 goals all season, same as Dartmouth. Maxwell through center, able to get around the defender, has some room, and it's taken away. Hinton trying to step up, and we've got a whistle behind the play. They will stop the clock. It looks like the 13 for Dartmouth, Haley Soriano, is down. I was following the ball. The whistle was blown. I am not going to begin to speculate on what happened to Soriano, but she seems to be in a lot of pain. With 8:42 left here, first shot on goal for the Big Green finds the back of the net, and the game tied at 1. And they're still tending to Soriano. Big Green have attempted just 3 shots, and a 35th minute goal, a 6th minute goal. And they continue to tend to Soriano, one of the senior leaders of this Dartmouth squad. Referee Adam Kilpatrick comes over. Head coach Ron Rainey already out there. What's the camera on so I can talk about it? The Big Green are regrouping over in their huddle, using the opportunity for a quick breath. Soriano is walking off under her own power. And my concern is that might be I'm not gonna begin to speculate. So Tracy Mills, the sophomore from Vienna, Virginia, checks in for Dartmouth, replacing the aforementioned Soriano. Big Green now have gone the same 4 deep as the Bears. My guess is the ball will be kicked back by the Bears to Dartmouth coach there wanted to know why it was a drop ball. It was a Dartmouth player who got down. The ball was in play. They dropped it, and the Bears do the sportsmanlike thing. They kick it down to Gordon, and we're back to playing. Pushed upfield. Cummings will send it on a line. Here comes Myers. Gordon, top of the box. Francisco with a touch. If anything, sometimes you see those injuries as By snaps it upfield from Myers. Shea with a head to it. And a turn there by Villaflor. Turns it out to Glennon. And a throw coming for Dartmouth. Be interesting to see what kind of pace we see to the final 7.5 minutes. The first 35 minutes of this game were incredibly fast-paced. And change coming again.
A substitution in 24, KK Haug enters the lineup.
So KK Haug will check on.
26, Rebecca Wilson.
Rosen will head to the bench. Rosen giving the Bears only on for about 10 minutes. And that's a good throw for the Bears because, again, with By, as we've mentioned, that one thrown off of Win Stanley gives the Bears the opportunity for the corner kick-like throw. They're going to leave Cummings back. They'll leave Cameron Brown back and Francisco back as well. Dartmouth defending with everybody. Here comes the throw. Over the head of Allen. It clanks around and is knocked away. Cummings winds up. Low, hard-driven shot. Maxwell for Haug. It rolls all the way out. Bermudez for Francisco. Francisco chipping it back up. Myers. That looked like a handball. It looked like it came down off the hand of Rourke. You're not likely to get that call. I'm just kind of looking for some validation. I thought it hit a wrist. And it'll be a big green throw in the end. 11 total shots, 8 total fouls, 2 goals, 1 apiece. What has been a very spirited match. And that's, everybody thinks it's their throw. It belongs to Dartmouth. Enright will take it. And knocked upfield by Bermudez. Myers trying to make a run. Shea heads it down. Maxwell, Haug, and now By on the left side. By leaving it up for Myers on the left. Myers trying to turn, and on the double comes Enright. And out ahead. Big Green's defense withstood a lot of pressure from Brown. And now countering comes Enright on the flank. Stuck by Cameron Brown. Ball lobbed out. Win Stanley met by Haug. And turned back upfield by the Big Green. It's settled in the middle. And Cummings out ahead. Haug with a touch. Kawakami, who has the Big Green goal, back for Rourke with under 5 left here in this first half. 1-1 Bears and Big Green. And that'll be last touched by Cheyenne Allen. A corner kick coming for Dartmouth. Big Green have been really on the attack. It's almost like they had some Hanover bus legs to start this one, but in the certainly the last 15, 20 minutes of this, the first 20 belonged to Brown. Last 15, I would say, have belonged to Dartmouth. That strike stuck by Francisco. Kawakami. Francisco again up on this near side. Hinton out for Myers. Can Myers get there? Here comes Enright. The touch near side for Newberger. And she sends it upfield. Cummings the win in the air. And it just misses Cheyenne Allen. Dartmouth with the throw. lot of movement. Everybody kind of sorting it out. It should be a Dartmouth throw. Last touch by Zoe Maxwell. Tough touch. Bermudez. Here comes Glennon. Glennon working against Cummings. That ball still alive. The turn comes off and struck. I want to say that caught Cameron Brown right in the side of the head, and she went down immediately. And that's not a good sign. That ball caught her right square on the side of the face, and she went down hard and fast, and the Bears could be making a change to a center back, which is not a place that you typically like to make changes. They do have some depth. This is a position that the depth hasn't been tested too much this season. And Cameron Brown is walking it off. I mean, there's tough, but you know, sometimes to me, when you have anything with a head, you sometimes see teams maybe make a substitution, just a precautionary substitution. So she went over to that corner just to kind of jog it off, and she seems to be okay. Big punt from Kayla Thompson. Comes down, bounces to Myers. Myers threw a couple of big green jerseys, looking to turn on Kawakami, cuts back, shouldered off the ball, got it to Cheyenne Allen. Allen looking to switch out by left side. By has Hogg back at center, curls it back across, and it's going to be a goal kick. Down to about 2 minutes left here. Ball sent upfield. First ball, By and Hogg. Second ball, Maxwell, middle of the field. Cuts back, has Allen to her right. Slows it down in the middle. Has space. Touches back Hinton. Ahead it comes on the 1-2 with Maxwell. Works her way into the box. Curls one towards center for a corner kick as she was able to turn it on Tracy Mills. Bears will bring up By to take this corner with now under 100 seconds left here in the half.
First corner being taken by number 18, Mason By.
By with the left, could go for a bit of an in-swinger. Gordon, who has been strong in this one, stopped a breakaway and got a hand on another chance for the Bears. And here comes By's corner kick. It hangs out. Francisco Bermudez shoots it up and over the top. Down to the final minute of play. That one maybe one that Bermudez would like back. Nonetheless, here comes the goal kick. Wynn knocked that down. Hogg, first ball, 1-to-1, or shoulder to shoulder with Juliet Pike. And that one goes up and over the top. Made a little too much on the service. Halftime, we'll take a look at the halftime numbers. We'll also take a look at the games ahead and also a look around the league, maybe preview tomorrow's game if we have time. We'll be here for the men as they take on San Diego State. The Aztecs in town. By left side, cuts back, continues to work ahead for Myers. Time winding down here in the half. Myers drops back for Bermudez. Bermudez cuts back, touches ahead. Hogg pulls back, running low on time. By the drive and over the top as time expires. A 1-1 game at the break. We've had ourselves a good one so far. The Bears get a goal from Abby Carcio. Erin Kawakami for Dartmouth answers about a half hour later. And we've got our starters back on for both teams. For the big green in front of Gordon, Winstanley Kawakami, who has the goal. Magoris, Soriano, Shea, Enright, Glennon, Gurgic, Bukak, and Rourke. And we're underway. For Brown, it's White, Ruffino, Seelenfreund, Cargio. Speaking of, good ball. Here comes Seelenfreund, working in, the shot, and the shot is wide. Seelenfreund able to get her way through. Kat Kurczyk had Gordon cutting out. And the Bears very nearly able to get through and make this a 2-1 game. Good recovery by the Dartmouth defense. For the rest of the Bears, Cargio, White, Seelenfreund, Maxwell, Ruffino, Bermudez, Brown, Francisco, Cummings, and Hinton in front of Thompson. Here's Maxwell, hot footing, left for White. White, a good ball. It'll be pushed all the way through. Shea there for Dartmouth. She'll give it up to McGorisk. The touch by Ruffino. Here comes Cargio. Cargio leading it through, and Shea able to get there over the head of Bermudez. Here's Enright. Here's Glennon. Out ahead, good ball for Winstanley. Turned away by Francisco. Bears are wearing the home whites. Dartmouth the road greens. Dartmouth working left to right on the attack here in the second half. That one turned across. Thompson will hot foot after it and gobble it up, lest Kawakami become more of a problem. Maxwell, Bermudez pulled in the midfield, settled down by McGorisk. And Hinton with the take, launches it out by the Dartmouth bench. Big throw, and that will be out of bounds. For a throw, as you look across the field, folks, you can see the skeleton, I guess you could say, of the new facility starting to emerge. There's Thompson looking for the goal kick. You'll get a glimpse of it every time we get a shot really at the midfield. It's going to span from about 18 to 18. Truly magnificent structure, or will be when it's done. Seelenfreund unable to catch up to it. New concourse, press boxes, luxury boxes, seating, just about anything you could ask for. Not that I mind our current situation. The temporary digs over here on the near side, or what used to be the far side. I'm enjoying it. Up ahead it comes to Seelenfreund. Seelenfreund looking to curl it across and will draw the corner kick. True Rourke out. Bears are going to send up, looks like Francisco. Nope, Sidney Cummings. Francisco going up for the, to be somewhere in the mix. Three and a half minutes gone here in the second. Here comes Cummings. Dartmouth bringing everybody back. It's a good corner, big strike. Headed down by Ruffino. Turned by Cargio. Touches back Hinton. Finds Cargio in the midfield, and it's knocked away. Cameron Brown has star white left side. A tough touch. She knew it as soon as she hit it to Cameron. It was a bit of a mishit. The big green dodge a bullet on the fourth corner of the day for the Bears. First of the second half. McGorisk turns back for Bukak. And out ahead, Winstanley, met by Francisco. Nice ball movement. Glennon, too much heat on it, looking for Bukak on the flank. Maxwell taking, and they're going to get a foul on Maxwell, knocking over Winstanley, and that'll bring up Rourke to take the restart. About 5 minutes gone here in the second. And the restart. Curls up. One in the air by Cummings. Can Cargio get there? Waited on it did McGorisk. Seelenfreund out towards center. Ruffino has to backtrack. And it's picked up by Enright. Enright cuts back. Takes her space. Good job by Ruffino on the recovery. Ruffino looking to counter. Chases down Cargio, has Seelenfreund out to the flank. Served it to her, back to Cargio, and out ahead she has Gurgic beat. Here comes Seelenfreund, working to the far side of the box. Turns to center. Ruffino, the shot, the save! What a stop by Mariel Gordon. Once again, coming out and challenging Ruffino, cutting down the angle. It was a great ball by Seelenfreund. Found Ruffino in the middle, was able to get that ball turned, but with Gordon coming hard, the ball didn't beat her. And another corner kick coming for the Bears. And the Bears might not see another goaltender with the certainly that aggressiveness. They'll certainly see some very good goaltenders here in the Ivy League through down the stretch. But what a stop! Out it comes. That's over the top of everybody. It's the second or third time Gordon has had that decisiveness, and that's what you want to see out of a goaltender. I'm sure if you asked all 8 coaches in this league, and certainly any of the 300 coaches that coach Division I college soccer, they would tell you you want decisiveness out of your netminder, and certainly they've gotten that a couple of times out of Gordon, challenging there and keeping this a tie game. Rourke in the middle of the back line. Gurgic, that's a tough touch. Ruffino's been snake bitten a couple of times tonight. Big throw by Hinton. Seelenfreund serves it square for Cargio. Goes back to Bermudez, who's put under. She gives it to Cummings. Cummings sending it toward the corner. It's Ruffino making a play on it. Offsides, the flag. And Rourke will put it down. Bermudez in transition. Good ball. It splits a couple of defenders. I think Bermudez was expecting it to zig, and it zagged. And out it comes. Bukak stuck there by Cargio. Drops back for Maxwell. Has White to her left. Gives it to her. White, middle of the field, looking to cut to the edge of the box. Turns, and it'll be stopped. The shot blocked, and Gordon off her line. Three teams winners already today. Harvard, Yale, Columbia. This one, 1-1. Ruffino working against Rourke. You hear and Coach Rainey's going to get a talking to. He just yelled out, I think that was him. You heard on the, you might have heard from some of that ambient noise, that's a foul. And I think the referee has said, look, I admire your zeal and I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'm calling this game and I've about had it with your dissent. So kindly silence yourself or I'm going to be forced to put you in the book. How's that sound? This is an awful long stern talking to, though. Minus any kind of card. And Coach Rainey still pleading his case. And now he's getting a hand. Well, whatever that discussion was, I don't think it went Coach Rainey's way. Let's put it that way. Because the Bears still had a throw. Climbing the ladder, Ruffino. Back to Seelenfreund on the right side. Looks to cut back. Turns, still has the possession. Gets it back to her right. Dances through. Good takeaway, and that'll eventually be a goal kick. Again, last year, Penn 5-1-1, Princeton 5-1-1, Dartmouth 4-2-1, Harvard 4-2-1. Yale's already won as many games this year as they did all of last year with the 7-2 mark. Far side, Seelenfreund looking to curl back on Rourke and draws the throw. Again, earlier today, Harvard, Columbia, and Yale all wins over Penn, Princeton, and Cornell, respectively. But everybody in the Ivy League except Princeton, 500 or better, as the one throw comes in to Ruffino, and that's going to be a corner kick. Good work by Ruffino. Princeton Dartmouth trying to lobby and say that, was already out of bounds when it was last touched by a big green foot.
Corner kick number 20, Sidney Cummings.
You got Harvard and Yale atop with 7-2, Columbia 6-2-1, Brown and Dartmouth 6-1-1 and 7-1 respectively. Penn 5-3-1, Cornell 4-3-1. The only team sub 500 right now. Princeton at 3-4-2, but with a couple losses against some very, very good teams. Here comes Cummings with the corner kick, serves it up over the head of Ruffino, turned by White and scored. The deflection came back to Star White. And the Bears take a 2-1 lead. For the first time this season, someone has put more than one goal on Dartmouth. It initially glanced off the head, it seemed, of Ruffino. And then it almost looked like Dartmouth was waiting for Gordon to make one of those charges to the ball. It never came. White had a little bit of a halo around her. And now the Bears have to go back to playing solid defense. It was Seelenfreund with the assist. Sidney Cummings with the corner. So it was Seelenfreund in the middle. Seelenfreund to Ruffino. Ruffino with some space in the middle of the field. She cuts back on Rourke, turns it to the box, right side. Ruffino to center, the cutback, White over the top. Maxwell with a very pretty heel pass, and White just narrowly missing, making this a 3-1 game with some razzle-dazzle, as Bill Murray would have said from Stripes. That was something. Here's Maxwell. Cuts back. Turns. Seelenfreund couldn't get there. Defense sticking a leg in it. Bermudez over Bukak. And Cargio rolls it over to White the hard way again. She looks to turn on Enright. Star White's third goal of the season. Seelenfreund and Cummings getting assists. And another corner kick coming as White turns it towards center.
First corner kick being taken by number 20, Sidney Cummings.
Here comes the corner again for Cummings. The corner is up. Here came big charge there by, I want to say, Hinton. Cargio goes down. Bermudez cuts back. The drive by Seelenfreund. Middle of the field. White, the header right into the hands of Gordon. The Bears turning it back on. Seelenfreund, the stop in the middle. And changes coming. And we'll see if Dartmouth, see what Dartmouth's going to do. They're going to, again.
Newberger returns. Will take place in number 24, Kat Grgic.
So it looks like Newberger in, Kat Grgic out. And here come the Bears with the counter again. Cargio ahead. Good pick up there by Shea, but coming through comes Ruffino. Maxwell trying to work up high. Checking two comes Seelenfreund. Right side, Cargio jumps up, tries to get around. I think it's Newberger who checked in. It is Newberger. Francisco with a head to it. Now it's turned out to the left side. Kawakami turns it ahead. Tracked back. And good job by Cummings to shield off the hot foot of Izzy Glennon. Goal kick coming out. Bears leading 2-1. Star White with the goal. White with a couple of chances beyond that to make this a 3-1 lead, but Marielle Gordon making a couple of stops. Did the junior out of Dallas, Texas. Dartmouth still with just the solo shot on goal, and it bested Kayla Thompson, and they're going to get Zoe Maxwell for a foul in the midfield. And now Maxwell gets the, hey, leave the ball alone, as she should, particularly with the lead. It's going to be a good spot, bottom of the kickoff circle, left to right for Dartmouth. Chipped up. Cummings wins it in the air. Second ball, Newberger. Back towards center. Top of the 18. Could have been a shove. Cameron Brown keeping after it. Trying to get a turn there is Winstanley. White takes it away. Sets it ahead, Maxwell. Maxwell out of trouble. Francisco backs off. Puts it to her left and loops it out toward midfield. Smart play there by the Bears. It'll allow him to reset. Here comes White. Forces the turnover. Maxwell, White, cutting back, has Carcio, comes back to Ruffino, great ball. Ruffino, middle of the field, cutting towards center, overlapping is Seelenfreund, Hinton on the right. Ruffino continues to carry and is knocked down. Oh boy, looked like she took her ankles right down and somehow no call. That one's gonna run all the way back to Kayla Thompson. And she's going to make Glennon have to come and make it interesting. And now she'll pick it up. A third of the way through the second half. Brown 2, Dartmouth 1. Goals for Star White and Abby Carcio of the Bears. The Dartmouth goal, Kawakami assists to Glennon. And change coming in for Dartmouth. Bukak to the bench. And it looks like they've brought Charlotte Esty, the senior from Newbury, Massachusetts. Nice town up there on Cape Ann. Cummings will away it toward midfield. And no real option there for McGorisk, other than to go out of bounds. Big throw here from the Bears. It was Hinton stepping up. And the ball knocked upfield. Cummings will track back to it. And she'll give a touch to Kayla Thompson. Thompson's can't play that with her. Oof. Thompson can't pick that up. Squared off by Bermudez to Hinton. And Hinton's going to send Ruffino. It's a great ball. Ruffino in a foot race with Rourke. Rourke's been put under by Ruffino, and now that will end up on the foot of Seelenfreund. Dartmouth was playing for a throw. Seelenfreund keeps going. Seelenfreund to the end line. And a corner kick. Heady play there by the freshman. Seelenfreund saw that ball was going out of bounds. Dartmouth was playing for a throw-in. Seelenfreund said, you know what? I think I see a seam, and forced the Big Green to go back and play some defense. The Bears will bring up Cummings to take this corner. It is their 8th of the game. Cummings will take the corner, taking some time here to deliver this service. Last corner kick yielded the Bears' second goal of the game. Plays that one out toward the penalty stripe over the head of Ruffino. White sprinting for the ball, gets there first, beating Shea, turns to the near side, continues to work with it. White serves it to Maxwell. Maxwell has some room, still has White to her left, squares it off. Francisco can't get there. Bermudez for Carcio. She has this range. Drives a shot just wide of Gordon. Tried to pick off a spot in that post using her left in Carcio. Like the decision there by Francisco to leave that pass off. Had Carcio with enough of a seam to put a shot toward goal. Not really anything Gordon was going to be able to do. She had left that side to her left, our right. Pretty much well open. And Carcio's shot Sailed wide, settled by Maxwell, and now Bermudez out ahead, misses Carcio and banged downfield by Newberger. Chasing it down comes Glennon, and what a play by Cummings to head that to Kayla Thompson. Glennon was putting her under, and expect a little bit more gusto out of Esty, Glennon, and Winstanley. Ruffino trying to turn to Seelenfreund. Bermudez will loft it to that right side. Seelenfreund trying to keep it in. Juggles, and what a play. Used her knee to glance it off of the defender, Newberger, in the all-syllable matchup of the game. Hinton will take up and step up and take the throw. Finds Seelenfreund. Beats Newberger. Oh, that's a foul. Oh, my goodness. They say clean tackle. I thought it was all ankles, but so did the Bears. Nonetheless, Carcio has the ball. Clean tackle the call. Seelenfreund curling it across, and that will skip wide. Change coming for Dartmouth. Glennon will head off. It's like Winstanley will move to the middle, and they'll put Tracy Mills on the flag, will the Big Green. As we're 20 minutes gone here, second half. For our entire outstanding team, my name is Mike Rubin. Thanks for being with us here on a Saturday evening in southern New England. A beautiful night for soccer, featuring two of the better defensive teams in not just the Ivy League, not just the East, but perhaps the entire nation. Both teams coming in, having allowed just 2 goals all year. Good ball. Cameron Brown knocks it down. Kawakami has already scored once from this range, and just got a little behind that one with her left foot and fired it wide. Shot totals, believe it or not, folks, 20-4, the shot totals. Now 20-5 following that one. Oh, no, that counts. 20-4. Shots on goal, 7 for Brown, 1 for Dartmouth. Cameron Brown has to beat Winstanley to that one. Winstanley with a good burst of speed. Turns toward the near side corner. Gets support and lost the ball. Cameron Brown taking it away. Set back in by Shea. Kawakami in the middle. Carcio looking to turn. And Kawakami had her arms all over her. Says, where's the call? Had her arm up around her shoulders between her numbers. And Carcio feeling the heat. Smartly went down. Cummings will play to Francisco. Good ball up the near side. Ruffino went airborne, knocked it out of bounds.
Dartmouth substitution. Turning from the line, number 21, Isabella Villaflor. Takes place number 26. Correction, number 13. Number 13, Haley Soriano.
So Haley Soriano heads off. For Dartmouth, Isabella Villaflor checks back on. Villaflor, I'm sorry. I played with a guy named Villator. I apologize. Villaflor, the native of Mississauga, Ontario. Near side. Winstanley, good burst of speed. Met by Cummings, turns back. Lost the handle. Star White, outlets. In the middle is Enright. Enright looking to turn one towards center. Cummings heads it down. Carcio able to turn that to the near side. And a foul. Be a restart for Grace Rourke, right in front of me. Sends that one. That's a good ball over the top. Be a goal kick coming out. We're a little more than halfway through the second half. 2-1. Brown leading Dartmouth. Bermuda is going down, far side, and turn back. Thompson has to push it out toward the far side. Middle of the field. Left side. And that's off Hinton for a corner. Be a corner kick for the Big Green, their third of the day.
Dartmouth corner being taken by number 3, Allie Winstanley.
And again, headed over the head. Francisco a little slow getting up. Throw in comes Winstanley, back and right, and Francisco sends that one out to the near side field. This is about what happened in the first half. The Big Green, as White winds up. The Big Green, a bit of a lull the first 15, 20 minutes or so of the first half belonged to Brown, and then Dartmouth really controlled, I think, the last third of the second half, and that's going to be another corner for the Dartmouth Big Green. And that's really been the case here. Maybe the last 4 or 5 minutes. Really, Dartmouth, a couple of counterattacks.
Taken by number 3, Allie Winstanley.
Allie Winstanley, the freshman from Concord, Mass., will take the corner kick coming out of this near side corner. The strike. It's a good ball out toward the penalty stripe. Rourke, the header. That one glanced off the side of Cummings. Here comes Seelenfreund. Seelenfreund will hot foot toward it. Works up the left side. Has Ruffino. Steps over the ball to Seelenfreund. Picked up by Kawakami. Turns back. Has Carcio. Just couldn't get that ball back. And somehow that's going to be a Dartmouth throw. I think they missed that one. Truthfully, I thought that glanced off of the 17 for Dartmouth, Mills. And that, no question there, that will be a Brown throw. KK Hogg will check on.
In the lineup, the 24, KK Hogg.
Hogg will check on. I think that means Carcio. Again, monitoring Carcio's minutes. She has missed some time this season. She'll head to the sideline. Hogg will check on. The first year has given them some pretty good minutes out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's played in every game since the opener. That one's turned. Francisco settles, loops it back up over the head of Maxwell, and turned. Far side, trying to make a play on it is Etsy. Collision, Hinton, and another Brown throw. That'll give the Bears an opportunity to get Claire Myers into the match.
Number 25, Claire Myers.
Myers on. Seelenfreund will take a seat. Some great minutes for Seelenfreund in this second half, including, I believe, her team-high 4th assist. Now the team's leading scorer with 10 total points. Star White just behind her, as is Brittany Ruffino. Cummings with some pressure, turns, ball still in. That's be a Dartmouth throw. Winstanley a little slow getting up there as well. I'd expect Dartmouth to start cheating up a little bit more with either Enright or probably Enright than Newberger, although they're both in a more attacking posture. And now Dartmouth.
Substitutions entering the lineup. It's a returning number 20, Izzy Glennon.
Looks like the starters are returning.
And number 13, Harry Soriano.
So Soriano, Glennon, and it looks like Bukak all back on. The reserves Mills, Etsy, they check off. That one's going to head up and over the top of Kayla Thompson. So to reset things for the Bears, it looks like it's White, Ruffino, Myers, Maxwell, Hogg, Bermudez, Hinton, Cummings, Brown, and Francisco in front of Thompson. For Dartmouth, it looks like they're starting 11 back on the field, except for the change at left back, Gurgic off and Newberger still on. Off of Kawakami. Newberger, I'm sorry, Winstanley back for Shea, who puts it up. The touch, Kawakami looks to turn, finds Winstanley on the flank, picked up by White and Francisco. That one grounded toward Kayla Thompson, who gobbles it up. Enright, Shea, Soriano, Newberger, and Rourke, the backs for Dartmouth, with Kawakami, Glennon. I believe Magorisk is still out there. Yes, she is. Winstanley and Bukak. All in front of Gordon, who's played well. First ball out to Maxwell. Maxwell trying to get it out to White. The turn, the 1-2. Hogg on the ball. Cuts it back out to White. White looking for the call is Ruffino. It's through her legs, and it'll run all the way to Gordon. Ruffino was calling for it. Not necessarily the wrong play there by White, just a little too hot, and Gordon will punt it away. It's on a line over the head of Myers. Stepping up, Hinton. Glance down off Magoris, the freshman from Wixom, Michigan, a little bit outside of Detroit. And Cameron Brown will send it out to Myers, who can't handle the pass. And that one's headed out of bounds. No, they'll say a foul on Myers. Jumping into, I want to say, Enright. Was it Enright? No. Newberger. Under 14 minutes left here in the second. Played short. Here's Enright. Maxwell challenges. Enright gets a step. White on the double. Myers far side. Newberger for Dartmouth. Nice stick by Hogg. Hogg can't get there. Newberger, nice play. And then Newberger, the smart play, just sends it out of bounds, and it'll be a Bear throw-in. Bears are going to wait for Hinton. Bears have taken the same amount of time on these throws and restarts, so I don't think there's necessarily any clocksmanship yet. Certainly something to be aware of. Myers back to Ruffino, and that one's in the basement of the new building. Not quite sure how they'll get that one. Hogg with a touch. Newberger stepping up. And they'll get Hogg on the foul as she came flying through. Newberger's taking a beating over there. The senior from Germantown, Tennessee, has, she has been tackled a couple of times. Big Green are going to bring the house. Leave Enright and Newberger back. Rourke will take the restart. Shea stepping all the way up. They're bringing up 7-8 players. Bears trying to hold the 18. That one sailing in. Cummings a header. Out to the right side. The only player there really is Ruffino. Bukak did a good job of getting there, but Ruffino runs out of room. It'll be a Dartmouth throw. Again, got to keep an eye on when Dartmouth may open things up a little bit. You need you really need that opening win in the Ivy League. It sets the tone for the rest of the season, and there's a lot of time left. Nice step by Bermudez. There's going to be a foul called behind the play, and again, after a game that didn't see a lot of fouls in the first half, just 3 on the Bears, 5 on Dartmouth. That'll be the 10th foul against the Bears, so 7 second half fouls to just 1 on the Big Green. That one quickly restarted and headed out of bounds by Lauren Hinton, who was tracking backwards. A corner kick for the Big Green. Brown has a couple of changes getting ready to get back in. Soriano will take this corner out of this near side for Dartmouth. 11 and a half to play by the time she kicks it. The in-swinger off the goal line. That was Zoe Maxwell tracking back. That had Thompson beat. The in-swinger was a dandy of a kick, and Zoe Maxwell on that rear post. Bears going to pull. Here comes Dartmouth with the quick throw. Chipped up. Myers. And here comes Maxwell trying to take Rourke. Rourke sends that upfield. Second ball, Hinton for Bermudez. Bermudez in transition has White to her left. Sends it to White. White has logged a lot of miles today. Works to the left side corner. A little early to play pinball. They are going to put it down to the corner. White's very good at this. And that'll be a throw in for the Bears. Changes for Brown. Seelenfreund. Carcio, and it looks like Melina Yago as well. Looks like Bermudez cramping up a little bit. So Maxwell, White, and Myers off. Keep an eye on certainly the conditioning. This has been a fierce game so far. Lot of miles for some of these for these women, as I've indicated a couple of times. There has been some really fast pace to this one. It has felt very much like a league game. Bears going to throw it in, and that'll be a foul on Ruffino. Got her arms up, and Shea went down. So they'll bring out Gordon to take the kick with under 10 minutes left here in the second half. Star White had the game winner against Dartmouth here 2 years ago in overtime. This year, hers the go-ahead goal here in the second half. Carcio and Kawakami first half goals for Brown and Dartmouth, respectively. Glennon, and it's played for Winstanley. Back out to Glennon on the right side. She'll be picked up by Francisco. And runs out of room. That's a goal kick. Wasn't able to quite swing around there was Glennon. It was a nice ball by Winstanley down to the corner. 9 minutes remaining here in the second half and change. Bears out shooting Dartmouth 20 now to 7. Shot on goal 7-2. Again, Kayla Thompson's made a single save. Bermudez couldn't get there. Glennon leaving it back. Bukak comes back to Winstanley. Winstanley is a scoring threat. Good touch. Here's Enright. The drive. What a save! Ball knocked down and saved away by Carcio. Kawakami in front. Thompson will dive on it. Oh my! Thompson with an initial tremendous save. The ball came ricocheting out. A couple of defenders there and a couple of blocks. The second shot finds its way in on Thompson, and we remain at 2-1. And it all started with a terrific drive by Zoe Enright, stepping up from that right back spot, finding a seam. Helter Skelter, indeed. Throw in for the Big Green as they continue to press with 8 minutes remaining. Kawakami, poke there by Bermudez. Ruffino cuts back to the ball. She will get a step. Enright seems to be out of gas. Ruffino has Yago and fresh legs working with her. Yago right side, waits on the ball. Was able to get herself back onside around Newberger. Tough first touch, and Newberger will turn it around. Left side, here comes Dartmouth. Big stick by Hogg. Carcio plays back for Francisco. Francisco upfield. That ball's going to stay in. Seelenfreund working against Enright. Enright with a nice first touch. They're going to get a foul on Seelenfreund. Now Carcio and Enright getting into it. The referee is going to stop the clock with about 7 minutes left here. And say, look, it's been a fun game. It's been a fair game. You no more. You no more. Oh, he's got the finger up, the double finger up. That is that's a double Stern talking to, but no cards. And you know, I appreciate that as somebody who got his fair share of Stern talking tos over the years on the field. That is. Kawakami now stuck. Glennon back out for Winstanley. The stick, Cameron Brown. Winstanley has Glennon. Glennon cuts back on Francisco. Big slide, comes back to Seelenfreund, and a throw-in coming for Dartmouth. Seelenfreund went down and looks to be cramping up, as you might expect. Now, it's not particularly warm out there, but it has been a fierce game. We'll see if that means Star White, who just came off, might be going right back on. The negative to this is you hear Coach Rainey trying to huddle up his team with Seelenfreund down. 6.5 to play here in the second. That will allow the Big Green to huddle up for a, my guess is the formation change. The Bears regrouping as a team. They're staying away from Coach McNeil and her staff right now and just kind of organizing. I'm watching Sydney Cummings, pretty demonstrative in that huddle. Certainly the leader of this Brown 11. Seelenfreund is up. And walking off on her own power. I don't know, they did stop the game, so I presume she has to come off. And we'll see what Dartmouth offers, having huddled up. 6.5 to play.
Number 3, Star White.
Yeah, as I thought, Seelenfreund had to come off. White will come back.
Number 11, Ava Siddleprice.
So Seelenfreund will stay off. She can stay off on this near side. And she does, in fact, step off. Ball on the ground. Winstanley with Enright. Picked up by White. Curls that one back in. Oof. Kayla Thompson juggled it there for a second. My stomach dropped. I'm sure a bunch of Brown fans did as well. And as they say, greasy goals are goals too. So, you know, if that one has found its way in, I'm sure Dartmouth fans out there would have been quite pleased. Thompson punts it away. Ruffino, the header. Second ball finds its way to Rourke, and that's a handball. And plain as day, it led to an advantage, caught her right in the wrist. The Brown team, the coaches, and Dartmouth's going to, you know, if I'm Dartmouth, I'm backing off. You know, don't make the referee have to spray this one off and take a few more seconds. Bermudez will take the restart for the Bears. Turns it left for White. White into the corner, and that'll be a Brown throw. 5.5 to play. Bears have Ruffino out towards center. Smart there by Carcio. She threw it in such a way that wasn't going to get called for the bad throw, and that's going to be another Bear throw in the corner. But this is where you can't really just pin it into the corner. And there's a lot of time left to be playing, again, pin it in the corner. But Bears seem to be okay with it. Out it comes Francisco, and now Yago. Oh, a turnover. Bad place for a turnover. It leads to the counterattack. Hinton will step up. Second ball lifted up. Cameron Brown lofts it upfield. Shea back to the ball. Here comes Yago. Will step into it. Rourke left side. Here comes Hinton again. Wins the ball in the air. That ball's going to run. It's going to die. Ruffino's going to get there. What a great hustle play by Brittany Ruffino to not only to catch up to that ball, but then draw a corner kick. That is a veteran move for a first-year player. She got all the way down to a ball that was played by Hinton, got to the corner, and then very calmly just kicked it off of the defender. Now, what you can do now if you're the Bears, again, taking a lot of time to set off the corner kick, you have a 10-yard walk-off in the Big Green. There's a line there for it, and the Bears are going to play it short, and why not? And that's going to be a foul. Saw the flag go up immediately. A push. The Bears push it right to Ruffino, and now it'll be a goal kick. So the Bears have, since they started playing corner ball on this near side, they've taken about a minute and a half off the clock. 2-1 game, and a lot of soccer still left with 3.5 minutes. I've seen a lot of crazy things happen in 3.5 minutes. They'll get Ruffino for a foul. Dartmouth kicked that ball after the whistle. The Big Green are looking for the clock, but when they're playing the ball, you're not going to get that stop. The fourth official giving Kia McNeil a, hey, that was a clean foul. Cameron Brown got it in the jaw. Dartmouth wanted a foul. They didn't get the handball call. KK Hogg ahead. Here comes White sprinting after it. Beats Enright to the ball. This game has been, I got to tell you, folks, what a battle. Into the corner goes White. Cuts back. Turns it. Bukak, the touch. Enright. Right to KK Hogg with under 3 to play. Middle of the field, Ruffino. Back to Hogg. Catching the Big Green running around a little bit. Hogg fouled. Tripped up. It was a foul of frustration perhaps by Bukak. And the Bears are going to have an opportunity for a restart. They'll play it short to White. And that's a Brown throw. Thrown in to White. And again, touched out of bounds by the Big Green. This is going to be frustrating if you're a Dartmouth fan, because the Bears doing a pretty fine job of just keeping that ball down in those corners really since the 5-minute mark. That is off the bottom of White's foot. Quickly thrown in by the Big Green. Winstanley, and that knocked away by Francisco. Winstanley tried to draw the foul, didn't get it, and there's under 2 minutes to play. What a game. Just what a tremendously fierce soccer game. Regardless of what happens in these next 2 minutes, this has just been a really wonderful game to be part of. That's deflected. It will be a Brown throw. For Dartmouth, the home game against Princeton. For the Bears, a trip to New York City and the Columbia Lions looms ahead. Went out of bounds. The Big Green are going to bring the house. The throw in, Francisco. Bermudez gets a foot to it. And again, these balls on the flank, the Bears will take. And here the Dartmouth squad saying, quickly, quickly. Cargio wins it in the air. Out to Ruffino. Ruffino has Cargio. Cargio will send it downfield. And it has eyes for that sideline. And you can hear everybody calling out for this final minute. Dartmouth's going to bring everybody when they get an opportunity. The throw-in comes right to White. .40 seconds remain. Dartmouth trying to reverse the point of attack to Rourke. Here comes Yago, has fresher legs. Hinton will step up, sends it downfield for a throw. The throw-in will come from Rourke. Big throw, 20 seconds. Hinton out of bounds. Rourke has a fairly long throw. Sends that one towards center. Bermudez with a knock. Ruffino bumped.
9, 8,
Middle of the field. Ruffino slow getting up. White gets there, and there's going to be a whistle. Ruffino and Bukak actually knocked heads. When that throw-in came in, they actually knocked into each other, and I don't care who you are, that hurts. They're both a little stunned getting out. The clock stops with 4 seconds, and it was even, which means it should be a drop ball. Coach Rainey wanting an explanation. If Coach Rainey's trying to say that Ruffino fouled Bukak, I don't necessarily agree with that interpretation. That was a pretty 50-50 challenge as far as I'm concerned. And I actually saw Ruffino go down first. Well, it's a drop ball. That ball was even, but with 4 seconds left, I don't know that anybody's going to be particularly kind about it and just giving it back to the other team. Kind of surprised we saw a whistle at 4 seconds, I'll be honest, with that ball coming out. I'm sure that's what Coach Rainey right now is wondering, is as is Coach McNeil, if there's a drop ball, how do we How do we set for it? And they are very slow. Zoe Bukak, the senior from Alexandria, still on the field. We've seen a couple of Big Green players go down in this one. You see, I'm watching, the official getting an argument there from Enright. And again, by the time this all settles, there's 4 seconds remaining. And Bukak is up and being helped to the sideline. And the ball. Okay, so here comes the explanation. It is going to be a drop ball. It should be a little further to the near sideline is what the Bears are lobbying. And it would appear that it's going to come to the near side. White gets there. She'll dribble it off, and the Bears have come away with a 2-1 victory over Dartmouth.
Dartmouth won.
In both teams' Ivy opener. And what a game. This was an absolute battle. Star White, for the second time in her career, has a game winner against the Dartmouth Big Green. It came in the second half with assists to Sydney Cummings and Ava Seelenfreund.
As our men return to action here at home, it's Stevenson Penn Kent against Sandy.
As the Bears in Big Green shake them up, we'll get a look in a moment at our final numbers, but the game winner, game-winning goal scored by Star White. Abby Carcio adding a goal, as did Eric Kawakami for Dartmouth. And, folks, if not for the play of Mariel Gordon, who made 4 saves for Dartmouth, this could have been